Welcome back. Well, for 97 years, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade has entertained families with its spectacular floats and famous balloons.
Yeah, I got a sneak peek at some of the new additions this year, created and manifested right here in New Jersey. That'll be featured in the parade.
The 97th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is next week, and the designers are putting their final touches on the famous floats here at the Creation Studio in Moonachie.
We are in Macy's Parade Studio in Moonachie, New Jersey, where all of the magic comes to life, where all of our floats are built, our balloons are designed. This is where it happens.
I literally walked in the door and I was like, whoa, this is like a playground, but just for adults, basically.
Yes, there's so much fun that happens here, but also so much talent and artistry from painters and carpenters and welders. It's so fun to watch it all come to life after a year of planning.
4 new floats this year. How many total do you have?
So there's 26 floats in the lineup this year. All will have spectacular talent and fun to watch along the parade route, and if you're tuning in on Thanksgiving morning.
So the details on these things are unreal. I mean, you go from small to massive height here.
All of these floats can be collapsed down to about 12.5 by 8 feet to ensure that they can make it through the Lincoln Tunnel. And then that happens again on the back end. So after the parade finishes, they collapse back down, they're brought back here, and they're packed away until next year.
How long does it take to come to fruition one float per year?
So it really depends on the float and the level of design. From beginning to end, a few months typically. But again, just totally depends on the scale of each float.
Check out some of the detail here. The licorice strands here are actually made from green shoelaces just hanging from a tree. And these candy jars you see all throughout the float will actually illuminate. And the entire thing is made up of 592,000 pieces of candy.
It's just the attention to detail that I think makes it so spectacular and why all of us are so entertained on Thanksgiving morning. There's about 80 people here at the studio that are working on this. There's a lot of different departments that are all kind of contributing to the same common goal, which is just, again, such a fantastic part of this job and this work that we do here.
Who has turtle power? I do, and so do they. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles getting their own float this year at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So this is the mock-up for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle float, and you can see some of the behind the scenes of how they built this. Again, this took about a year, and you can see some of the creations that they have on the front of the float were made from 3D printables. How cool is that?
We always look to deliver is just different fun for our fans and for the fans of all of these wonderful brand names.
And the Good Burger car, too. I have to mention that.
Yes, we're really excited that the Good Burger car is going to be coming down the line of March this year. It's good. Again, you just can't miss on the fun this year. Tune in on Thanksgiving morning. There's 2.5 miles of parade route to watch this parade. Millions come and check it out live on Thanksgiving, and it's a truly, I would say once in a lifetime, but it's our 97th annual, but it's a really special experience. So I'd encourage everyone to come and see.
So much fun seeing that little behind the scenes look.
The craftsmanship, the artistry, the creativity. I mean, it really is one of those things where like the magic never goes away.
No,
with
never.
that. It's just because you're just in awe. I mean, you got to stand there.
The detail. I mean, and again, when you're watching it on television, you don't necessarily realize
Catch all
of
that.
that.
Yeah.
You don't realize how the scale of these things until you're standing next to it.
Right, because when you put them down, what is it, 6th Avenue, 5th Avenue, the buildings so trump them, but to stand there in a warehouse next to them, I mean, they're incredible.
Another Jersey connection, Rutgers Marching Band will be performing next Thursday as well, so we're looking forward to that.
Yes.
And a change this year, it begins at 8:30 in the morning because they've added so many new things. There's more balloons this year, new balloons as well, so I'm excited. So you can catch it starting at 8:30 to noon and watch some of those floats that were made right in New Jersey.
That's it. It's a tradition.
Can you imagine having that job? I was saying that to my son. My son watched the piece before it aired, and he was like, I want that job. He's like, I want to work there.
It is. I mean, it is the arts and crafts dream.
Just a DIYer. I was like, ooh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
With shoelaces, I was like, brilliant.
I expect to see this in next year's Halloween costume somewhere.
Maybe not that scale, but it'll, maybe I'll
somewhere
steal some
along
ideas.
those lines. Somewhere along the lines. Incredible stuff. And listen, speaking of holiday traditions, what would it be without the pies, the wine, the sweet treats? But For people with diabetes, this time of year can be a little bit difficult to navigate. So here to show us a healthier way to present our Thanksgiving and Christmas feast this year is diabetes educator at the Molly Diabetes Education and Management Center at Hackensack University Medical Center, Linda Vero. Linda, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Christina and Kara. It's great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. What dishes have you prepared today?
Yeah, so 3 really great, healthy holiday dishes that are quick, convenient, and very easy and super to make. So the first one we're going to start with is, think of this, if you can see here, is a pumpkin chili. So if you take a regular vegetarian chili recipe that has the beans, the onions, the peppers, all of the seasonings, and what you're adding here is some paprika, some cumin, and some pureed pumpkin, it really kind of steps up that chili recipe and brings in the season with all of those flavors. We love cumin. It's a great spice that we know has anti-inflammatory properties. We love our pumpkin. It's an excellent source of vitamin A. It has vitamin C, a really good source of potassium, which we know that's good for blood pressure. It also has antioxidants and fiber. So the fiber is great, keeps us full longer. So for those folks looking to lose weight or weight management, we really like the fiber in the foods. The great thing about this recipe too is that you make the dish, it's very simple in a pot, and then you have it for several meals. So certainly you could add different sides, but it's really, again, very easy to make, a lot of fiber, really good nutrition. Along with this, our second recipe is cauliflower rice. Now, cauliflower rice is really popular. It's a great alternative to white rice. Very easy to make. You can start with a head of cauliflower, cut it into pieces, use a box grater or a food processor to kind of make it into smaller pieces, similar to this. And then really, it's easy. You take a saute pan, add some oil, saute it quickly or steam it. But what we love about the cauliflower rice, it pairs well with the chili. So we could put the chili over the rice. You can have the rice on the side. But if we look at carbohydrates, 1 cup of this cauliflower rice provides 10 grams of carbs and about 28 calories, compared to a cup of regular rice has 45 grams of carbs and about 210 calories. So really a nice reduction in calories and carbs for those folks that are looking to control their blood sugars and also those that are looking for weight management.
That sounds
really
good.
Yeah. And if you look here, you see how it looks similar to the rice, and it has that same texture, that sort of same mouthfeel. So again, a great alternative for any dish, but especially one where you're using these flavors for the fall, which are really going to season the rice as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
got one more. Go for it.
Okay. Our third recipe is flourless pumpkin muffins. And what we love about this is it uses almond butter as its fat. It uses honey as a way to sweeten it instead of regular sugar. It uses canned or pureed pumpkin, and then all those spices that we like with the pumpkin, the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the cloves. The nice thing about the flourless pumpkin muffins are that they are also gluten-free. So folks that are following a gluten-free diet as well, it's a great alternative. But don't discount them. When you hear flourless, they taste wonderful. They have that nice mouthfeel like we expect with pumpkin muffins, that spongy feel. And again, what's nice about it is we get those health benefits of the pumpkin that I just mentioned. The nice thing about carbohydrates, they're lower carbohydrates and calories than traditional pumpkin muffins. So generally, one of these muffins here, if you can see, is about 20 grams of carbs. And for folks that are carb counting, which we teach that here at the Diabetes Center, it's about 1.5 carb servings. And this is just about a little over 100 calories for this one muffin. Whereas when you look at a traditional pumpkin muffin, it can have as high as 60 to 70 grams of carbs, and it's pretty much closer to 400 calories.
Wow, absolutely.
That's a lot.
Yes.
That's a huge difference. So Linda, what are some tips for finding healthier recipes and good ingredient swaps? Obviously we're focusing on the pumpkin because it's fall and it does work wonderfully for a lot of things. What are some other ingredients folks can look for as they're preparing their holiday meals?
Well, really what you want to do is you want to watch, the saturated fat. So if you can have recipes, certainly that you're going to bake, broil, grill, we don't really want to do too much frying, but you want to use recipes that use some of those healthier oils, things like the canola oil, which is good for heating at a higher temperature, using something like olive oil, which is going to be more so for quick sauteing or more of a dressing. But really, you kind of want to look for those ingredients that maybe have a little bit lower carb option, especially for those folks that are watching their blood sugar control.
Tell us a little bit about the Maly Diabetes Center and what exactly inspired the program.
Yeah, so, as we know, the incidence of diabetes is increasing, the same with pre-diabetes. So what we do here at the center is we teach folks how to manage their blood sugars and their diabetes. So we sort of empower them through education. So we have a whole nutrition component. We help them also with weight management. We have a staff of registered nurses as well as registered dietitians, and we're all certified diabetes educators. So we work with them in conjunction with their doctor, help them in managing their medications, their diet, their exercise program, weight loss. So really they have the tools that they need where they can manage it on their own. So if they come to a holiday event, they're better prepared. They know what food choices to select, how much to eat. When they're looking to exercise, how much should I exercise a day or a week? How is that going to impact or improve my blood sugars? So it's really looking at their whole lifestyle as well as the medical end of it to help them to get that hemoglobin A1C or their blood sugars in control.
Very interesting. So then how do those dietitians come up with recipes and how can folks at home kind of, again, get a little creative with their recipes? Let's say there's something that they love that they're missing, how can they make that good, healthy swap?
Sure. So there's some really great websites. The American Diabetes Association is a great website for folks that especially have diabetes. But even if not, they have great recipes that tend to be very heart healthy, lower carb options. And they have a whole section on their website which goes through recipes for each meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. And again, they're all kind of healthier options. Another option is eatright.org, which is part of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. And again, they always have great consumer-friendly recipes to show you how to make better food choices, better ingredients, and they always have some nice healthy tips for cooking as well. So those are two great websites that folks can go to. And also American Heart Association. They have great heart healthy recipes, which use a lot of the seasonings, the foods that have antioxidants in there, higher fiber foods. So again, you could look there for recipes, and possibly if the carb amount is a little too high, you can certainly lower that a little bit by looking at alternatives. Like we did the cauliflower rice. Another option would be zucchini noodles. For those folks that really want that pasta feel. Spaghetti squash, it's a great time of year for all of those fall vegetables that are in season. And the spaghetti squash is really easy to make. And what you can do is put your favorite sauce over it. So certainly that's, again, more of a lower carb option.
That's amazing. Where can we find more recipes and learn more about your program?
So we have the website. If you go to Hackensack Meridian Health, the website, you can get a link to our program and you can find out more information. Also, too, you can call here. We do offer programs even for family members. We have something called a caregiver program. So if you have a family member that has diabetes and you really want to help them and support them and you're not really sure, how to do that, we do have a whole education program for them as well. We also see pediatrics and children with diabetes, and we work with their families as well. So we really see the whole continuum of lifespan between pediatrics, adults, and the elderly population.
Good stuff,
Fantastic.
Linda. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for all those healthy tips. We appreciate it. I hope you have a happy holiday season.
Thank you. You too. You too.
Definitely something to look for, and it does kind
Yeah.
of go overlooked, especially and like the holidays are just so heavy. They're sugar
so
laden. It's a
heavy.
lot of flour.
Yes, and then afterwards you feel, oh, why did I eat that? I mean, there could be such great alternatives instead.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
Amazing.
Guys, for the latest happening in New Jersey, make sure to follow the New Jersey Morning Show on social media. That's going to be at NJ Morning Show.